It's time for the Blue Blows Podcast with your hosts, Alonso and Juan, Alicia Del Valle, and the babyface gimmick in the sky, Roger.
BetOnline continues to be your #1 source for all your basketball wagering needs, including pro and college hoops throughout the year. With up-to-the-minute odds, stats, and trends, you can follow your favorite team's path to the playoffs with in-game live betting, contests, and all the best player props. Experience the world's best wagering platform anytime from your desktop or your mobile devices. Head to BetOnline today to become part of the team, and remember to use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
And making a return visit to the Carne Asada, ladies and gentlemen, we're very excited to have Jared Karros back. Jared, how are you? How you been, man?
I'm doing great, man. Just grinding out here in Arizona, spring training. So thank you guys for having me back, though. I'm excited.
I know, absolutely. So let's start, you're in Arizona right now. How has spring training been for you?
It's been awesome. Just being around all the guys again. Obviously, it's a little different this year with who we have on the big league team. So there's been a lot more buzz, a lot more people around. So that's been exciting. But spring training's been awesome so far. So, yep.
So this is officially your first spring training with the ball club, right, Jared? Because when you got, or did you go last year?
This is my second. I was here last year, but I know a lot more guys this year. So it's a little more comforting knowing everyone. But yeah, second spring training.
So, I mean, I'm sure I'm curious if you had heard about all the, the attention, the amount of people, the circus, the media that was there. Mm-hmm. Did anything prepare you for it? Like when you actually showed up and saw the amount of media that was there paying attention to all the minor league, all the action on all the fields?
Yeah. I don't think you could really prepare for it. It's new. It's not really something you can know what to expect with, but it was awesome to see. Obviously, they're gone now, but when they were here, it was crazy. Just the amount of people that were filtering over, even into the minor league side on some days. It was pretty special, and I'm glad I got to be a part of it.
I'm amazed at the fact that, and this is probably why he's an elite athlete, but Jared, if you had that amount of people constantly watching every move you make, do you still think that you could perform at the level that you're used to performing? Or does it eventually, don't you feel like, bro, just leave me alone. Give me like 5 minutes just to breathe.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's got to be some times, especially on like those bad days when you don't really want to talk to anyone or see anyone, and you just got to still deal with it. It's pretty impressive how he handles all that stuff. And yeah, it would definitely get tough after a while for sure.
Go ahead, Cody.
Yeah, I mean, obviously everything Juan said, the attention the team's received. As a player, you're watching throughout the winter, seeing what the Dodgers have done. What were your kind of thoughts and reactions? Because I know for us, like as fans, like kind of whenever we saw a notification drop, we were like, whoa, I can't believe the team just did this. But we've asked a couple players. I'm kind of interested to see what your reaction to what the Dodgers basically just did all winter.
Yeah, it was exciting for sure, just seeing all the pieces they've added. And just seeing how much they want to win. Everyone that they've added is a pretty big part of the team. And just being there in the offseason, I was working out at the stadium. So I actually got to meet Shohei when he was first coming in. And it was pretty awesome and just special. And I'm glad I was able to be there for it.
Yeah, and then kind of going off of that, I feel like the Dodgers, unlike most teams, it's not just the guys that are on the 26-man roster. It's not just the guys on the 40-man roster, but it's kind of like a whole team mentality of next man up, be ready. So going off of that, I know you had a really good season last year. Do you have any goals for yourself, especially now that spring training's kind of closing down and the minor league season's about to begin in like a month?
Yeah. Nothing too specific. I would just say kind of just keep doing what I'm doing. It's kind of sometimes you get caught in things you can't really control. So I kind of try to stay with the things that I can control and just about my work ethic, my performance, my preparation, all that kind of stuff. And I kind of let the other things handle themselves and try not to worry too much about those things. But I would say just continue what I'm doing, work hard, and put myself in the best position to succeed.
Okay. And then just kind of before I segue back to Juan, Do you know like where you're going to be starting out this year? Is it going to be the same, or you just haven't been updated on that yet?
Yeah, I haven't been updated. Usually they'll let us know a couple days before we break camp. So
Okay.
I've been throwing really well so far, so we'll see. But no, I'm not sure where I'm going to be headed this year.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm back to you.
Jared, I want to talk about your season last year because we saw you in Rancho, but something happened to you, man, when you went to Great Lakes. I mean, your numbers. I know it's a small sample size, but your numbers were insane at Great Lakes. I mean, I know it was only 3 games, but your ERA was under 1. First of all, how was that move going from Rancho, other than the fact that you were now going to a different environment, but how was that going from Rancho and then going up to High A?
It wasn't too bad of a transition. I think one of the things that made it a lot easier was at the end of July and beginning of August. There were a couple starts where I scuffled a little bit, and I think I learned a lot through those. Made some mechanical changes, and I think that kind of shifted the rest of my season. And I finished really strong, as you mentioned. So I think going through that kind of helped prepare me for what was to come up in Great Lakes. And yeah, I felt just confident and really repeatable with my delivery. So yeah, I think those were kind of what helped.
Is that something that the coaching staff found in you, or did you notice yourself that something mechanically wasn't right for you?
It was a combination of both. Me and Sean Coyne, our pitching coach in low A, we were kind of looking at video and just kind of trying to see what was going on. And there was something we found, and it was a quick, easy fix, and the results were pretty immediate after that. So, yeah, it was kind of a combination of both of us.
Were you pitching in relief at Rancho also, or were you mainly a starter in Rancho?
I was a starter in Rancho. In the beginning of the year, we called it piggybacking. So I would throw every 6 days or whatever it was, but sometimes I would come in after the starter. But yeah, no, I was a starter the entire year.
Is that do you have a preference? Does it matter to you being using that role?
Um, I like starting, but honestly, whatever the team needs, whatever position I'm in, I'm gonna do my best to help the team win. But yeah.
So is that mentality genuine, Jared? Because we see this like Mookie and Gavin Lux being asked to, okay, you're switching positions, but we hear it from Mookie and we hear it from Gavin Lux, and everybody like, dude, whatever the team needs for me to do, I'm going to do it in order to win. There's a lot of players in the minor league system of the Dodgers that play multiple positions. So starting in low A, are they already telling you guys need to be prepared for whatever position that we pull you in? So, for example, for you, you may start games. We may use you in piggyback situations, or we
Mhm.
may use you in relief.
Yeah, honestly, I think whatever opportunity you get, you kind of just have to take what you get and do the best you can. We actually had Mookie. He came and talked to the minor leaguers, and he even talked about how just moving positions and how that's kind of the way this game's going these days, and guys have to be flexible and whatever the team needs, and that's kind of what they have to do. So, yeah, just doing whatever you have to do whenever you get the opportunity is kind of the mentality I have.
For us lay people, Jared, can you explain, because you've done that? I mean, you used to play first base and now you're pitching. But how hard really is it to move from a position that you're so used to? Like Mookie has now 3 different positions. Gavin Lux is, I mean, how hard is it to do that?
Absolutely. I mean, I haven't done it in a while, but I'm sure just um, the whole, just your view of the field is completely different. Just the pace of play that whatever position you're at changes. So yeah, it's got to be very difficult, I'm sure. But they sure make it look easy, don't they?
That's what I'm saying. Now, go ahead, Cody.
Yeah, I mean, kind of continuing off that. Yesterday, the spring breakout game that was played across for a bunch of teams. It's been going on the past weekend, and you actually pitched in that game for the Dodgers yesterday. Was there anything different about that game in particular? Because it seems like the MLB is trying to kind of give more promotion to minor league players. And did you kind of feel that in the room, or was it just a traditional kind of spring training type of outing for yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. You felt it, especially when you saw kind of the guys you were with and just the amount of talent you were alongside. It was pretty cool to be a part of. I will say, It did start to rain, so a lot of the fans kind of trickled out, which was unfortunate. But no, it was definitely a cool experience, and I think it's got a lot of potential going forward for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I had the chance to actually, I was in Florida in the Grapefruit League, and I actually got the chance to probably see one of the better matchups with Paul Skeens versus Jackson Holiday, which it seemed like a lot of the fans were extremely into it right there, and it was probably the most packed I've seen a spring training game, and especially for one that was a doubleheader for them. But is there anything that you think Major League Baseball can do to like kind of promote it better? Because a lot of these guys' names are just getting it out there, and it's providing promotion. Is there anything you would change to it at all, or like a tournament, more games, better, I guess, streaming options? Because some of them weren't even streamed on TV, I
Yeah.
believe. What would you do?
I would say, yeah, the streaming options, and I think a couple more games could be beneficial, just so you could see some more guys. I know we only had how many? We had five guys get to throw, and obviously we've got a lot of talent in our arms in our system. So maybe having a couple more games and just allowing more exposure for certain guys, I think would be beneficial. But overall, for a first year, I thought it went pretty good.
Yeah. Other than that, Juan, you got anything else?
Jared, so when you mentioned that only 5 guys got to throw in that game, when they chose you to be in it, did you put much thought into that, or it's just another game for me? I just need to get my work in before the season starts.
Yeah, no, they were definitely the butterflies going through early on in the day for me. But once I kind of stepped on the field and just realized I was just out there doing what I've been doing, those kind of went away. But there were definitely some nerves going into it for sure.
So, you went 2 scoreless innings, and you really did a great job of moving the ball around. How many pitches are you up to now? It seemed like you have about 4 different pitches, or am I giving you credit for
Yeah,
more or less?
no, yeah, 4 pitches is correct: fastball, changeup, slider, curveball.
So do you feel like you know who you are as a pitcher yet, or you're still discovering, hey man, I can do this now, I can do that?
I'm definitely still learning. It's an ongoing process for sure, but I will say this spring I feel like I've taken some pretty good strides in continuing to develop, and just feeling confident with all my pitches, and my game plan for attacking hitters has been pretty good so far. So I'm really liking where I'm at, and I'm excited for the season.
Jay, correct me if I'm wrong. Are you 6'7"?
Yeah.
So does your height play an advantage for you on the mound? Because I got to talk to Tyler Glass now, and I did not realize what a giant that dude is.
hmm
And he's looked great this spring training. And I'm wondering if the height for you find plays for an advantage for you.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some factors with it. I think also one of the parts of it is people just don't see it that much, and they're not really used to what it's like, where the release height is. That's different for everyone. Release height, extension, all of that. But I think just hitters not being used to it, not seeing it very often, definitely can play an advantage for us tall people.
Cody, do you have any more for him? Because if not, I have a few more.
No, you continue asking questions away.
Well, I want to know if you're still surfing, Jared, because last time you were on the show, some of our listeners gave me shit because why'd you bring up the shark story, dude? The guy's gonna go back out in the water, and you're talking about sharks.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this offseason I got into it pretty good and was surfing a good amount. Fortunately nothing out here in Arizona, but I did hear they were building a like a wave surf pool here. So I'm hoping next spring training it'll be done out here. So I'll be able to bring my board out and catch a few waves. But yeah, I'm still ripping it.
Is that just never gonna die in you, Jared? Are you just gonna be a surfer for the rest of your life?
I think as long as I'm living somewhere near the beach, it's going to be a part of me. Just as a way to kind of escape the real world and just go out there and get lost in the waves. It's definitely something I'm really into.
And as we talked about it last time you were on the show, you are part of the first father-son duo that we've had on the show. But there was a real nice moment with your dad and your brother during spring training where they got to exchange the lineup card. I know your dad was up there for the weekend. Did you get a chance to hang out with your whole family while you guys were in spring training?
Yeah, we went out to dinner one night, so that was good, getting everyone together. But I wasn't there for the game, but I did see all the videos, and it looked like a cool experience. So I was glad they got to have that together.
How often do you get to compare notes with Kyle, even though you guys are different positions?
Um, a little bit. I'll ask him a few sometimes, just like kind of about what he's thinking, what's going through his head. But we don't really talk about baseball as much. Just between us, we kind of just talk about other stuff. But there'll definitely be some times where I'll float some questions by him, or he'll ask me some stuff for sure.
So you guys don't have the conversation like he's not like admits that he's jealous that you're in the Dodgers organization and he's playing for the Rockies. Come on, Jared, tell us the truth. Is
Nah.
he just so depressed that he's in the Rockies organization, or is he just happy because he's like, you know what, I'm probably going to get a chance to play over here?
Yeah, no, he loves where he's at actually. Just the opportunity he has, and just kind of going off on his own and doing his own thing. I think he really likes. So yeah, no, he's really happy with the Rockies and the fit, kind of with how everything's turned out so far. So no complaints from him.
Well, before we wrap things up, I have to, because you've been there, and I know like it was a mass exodus once the team left for Korea. So right now, is it just like a ghost town at Camelback?
Yeah, yeah, it definitely is. I will say, there's definitely not as many people. We'll still get a couple here and there just for games and stuff, and some media people. But compared to what it was, it seems like a ghost town for sure.
Well, I know some of the big leaguers stayed, and James Paxton was actually one of the one who stayed
Mhm.
back. Did you get a chance to work with any of the big leaguers, pick any of their brains, and be like, "Hey, man, any pointers would be greatly appreciated"?
Yeah, actually, this was more so in the off season when I was working out at the stadium. Walker Bueller was there, so he was actually really helpful and really outgoing, and he would come watch my bullpens, and he was always wanting to help and give me pointers here and there. So that was awesome, and I'm really thankful that he was taking his time to help me out. But yeah, that was sweet.
It seemed like Dodger Stadium was very, very busy this offseason, Jared. How did those workouts come about? Is it just people just randomly showed up to the stadium? Or is there a group text going around saying, hey, I'm going to go put in work? Anybody want to come along? Because I know Shohei was there and Gavin Lux was putting a lot of time. How did these
Mhm.
workouts get set up at Dodger Stadium in the offseason?
Yeah, it's kind of like a schedule. Same time every day, guys show up. Um, and that's kind of the way it goes. Just 10 o'clock every day we'll stretch. So guys come in and out. Yeah.
So has all this now just become normal to you? Is it you? I mean, are you now looked at yourself as like, hey, this is my job, man. There's no big deal here. I'm just trying to do my job well and looking for the next promotion.
Yeah, I think to a certainty, but also at the same time, I do realize how fortunate I am to have this opportunity. And it's not something I take for granted, but yeah, it is a job as well. And I got to perform, and that's kind of the main goal.
So there is word that, of course, nothing's been confirmed, but that the Dodgers may be selected to travel to Japan next year. I know this is being overzealous and all that stuff, Jared, but would you love to be one of the people taken to Japan next year?
Absolutely. I mean, who wouldn't? That would be an unreal trip and a great opportunity. We'll see what happens. I don't know how likely that is, but it's never out of the cards. So we'll stay positive and hopeful for sure.
If you could choose a country, because baseball now is international, what country would you like the Dodgers to travel to and that you could be a part of? Because we're seeing the pictures already online in Korea. I think they're going to markets and just, doing
Mhm.
food tours and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Is there a specific country that you would love to go explore and then get to play a baseball game in?
I think you got to choose Japan, right? Just with how influential Shohei is over there, and with how many Dodger fans there are now. So yeah, I think I got to go with Japan just to see what that's all like, and I'm sure the fan turnout would be unbelievable.
All right. Well, there you have it, Jared. Thank you so much. You've been so gracious with your time. Best of luck to you. I mean, you looked great out there in a game where the Angels put out their top prospects out there. So, continued success on your growth there, Jared.
Thank you. I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you again.
This episode has been brought to you by Bet Online. The game starts here.